Hi, it's Robin Sharma, and I'm super happy to welcome you to this episode of the Mastery Sessions. This episode is going to walk you through one of my favorite quotes in my book, The 5 a.m. Club, that I think you're really going to find helpful, and then I'll decode it and deconstruct it a little bit for you. So readers across the planet have loved The Spellbinder and Mr. Riley, the eccentric billionaire tycoon, and many have fallen in love with the other two characters, the students of the 5 a.m. Club method, the entrepreneur and the artist. And one of the Spellbinder's quotes in his presentation is what I wanted to read it to you. So it's from page 26, and it simply says, "Heavily resist all piracy of your mastery from this world tempting you into distractibility and causing digital dementia. Force your attention back to the Everests of potential aching for fuller expression today and release all reasons that feed any stagnation of your strengths. Start being an imaginationalist, one of those rare individuals who leads from the nobility of your future versus the prison bars of your past. Each of us thirsts for days filled with tiny bursts of the miraculous. Every one of us wishes to own our pure heroism and step into unchained exceptionalism. All human beings alive at this moment have a primitive psychological need to produce masterworks that wow, live daily amidst uncommon awe, and know that we are somehow spending our hours in a way that enriches the lives of others. The poet Thomas Campbell said it beautifully when he observed, to live in the hearts of those we leave behind is not to die." So, I want to talk about legacy. I think you have a shot at immortality, which is to live in the hearts of those we leave behind. It's really easy in our days to fall into the ordinary, to be so consumed with what's in front of us, to be so consumed with our schedule, to be, so worried about adult concerns such as the mortgage and the family and our responsibilities. And of course, that's being human. And yet there's great value in being thoughtful. There's great value in contemplation. There's great value in reflection, which is part of the value of the 5 a.m. Club method. The period from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock is the time of least distractibility, the most peace, and your greatest opportunity for contemplation and reflection. And what I encourage you to do as much as possible, at least a few times a week, during your victory hour from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, in that second pocket of the 20-20-20 formula that I teach in the 5 a.m. Club book. And the second pocket, you probably know about it if you've read the book. It's all about reflection. It's the reflect pocket. I encourage you to pull out your journal or simply sit quietly and contemplate how you want to be remembered when you're no longer here. Building intimacy with your mortality is not something that's depressing. I think contemplating how you want to be remembered, what you want to have stood for, how you will live behind, or what you want to leave behind in the hearts that will, stay behind when you're no longer here. It's inspirational, because what it does is death focuses you on what's most important. Thinking about how many days you have left, I wish you long, glorious, creative, productive, fulfilling, joyful lives. But no matter how long you have to live, even the longest life is a really short ride. And we're all going to be dust, and the street sweeper gets buried next to the CEO. And so I think it's very powerful in the time you have before the sun rises to think about your legacy. Think about what kind of work you will have stood for. Think about what kind of leader you will be for your teammates. Did you build them up or did you tear them down? The other night I was at a restaurant and I watched two people. I could tell they worked together. And one was clearly the leader. And that person spoke with such aggressive language, and almost everything that came out of that person's mouth was, like a put down. It was almost very passive aggressive. Just observing, not judging. We all have things to work on, don't we? I think the larger point is reflect on what kind of leader you will have wished you were. Did you build people up? Were you honest? Were you candid? Did you stand for developing the talent in the people that you worked with? When you think about your legacy, think about your core values. Some of mine are beauty, family, creativity, authenticity, personal mastery. You want to think about your legacy, think about success balanced with soulfulness. I am all about being successful and productive and achieving in the world. I've shared philosophies and technologies and tactics on how to do that for over 2 decades. But more and more in my life, I'm realizing success without soulfulness and joyfulness and a rich heart is a tragedy. You want to do both. You want to be a warrior and you want to be a poet. You want to be in the world. You want to make time for the wilderness. You want to have a strong mindset. You want to have a purified heart set. You want to achieve your highest ambitions, and you want to be a philanthropist. And a philanthropist is simply someone who thinks about the welfare of the world. To me, that's balance, head and heart, warrior and poet. That's where the legendary leaders really live. I think too much in the world and not enough in the wilderness is just as out of balance as everything being about resting and recovering and soulfulness. Too much productivity without not enough festivity and laughter and joyfulness is out of balance. Same thing though. Too much time having fun, too much time having long meals, too much time sleeping, that's out of balance too. And yeah, your legacy. Thinking about how you will want to be remembered. I read something recently that I felt was very profound. It was someone who had lived a really rich life. A lot of success, a lot of difficult times, a lot of creativity, a lot of fun times, a lot of world travel. And he said, even if I died tomorrow, I die very happy because I've really lived a great life. And so I want to leave you with that insight. Live in such a way that even if you were taken out of the game tomorrow, you'd feel happy because of everything you've done and everything you've experienced and everything you've lived. You want to be alive. You want to be awake. You want to be awake. A great compliment is if someone says to you, you're really alive. You really live fully. That's a life gloriously lived. So definitely, if you haven't read it, read the 5 a.m. Club. It is an absolutely transformational tool. It's a manifesto for your mastery, along with a lot of messages and insights and frameworks that will really teach you how the great women and men of the world did it. Also, if you want to go even deeper, head on over to thecircleoflegends.com. That is my monthly mentoring program where I teach you my advanced frameworks on creativity, exponential productivity, elite performance, empire making, and world changing. It is a world-class digital mentoring program where I teach you, encourage you, challenge you, and show you how the great ones do it. Again, thecircleoflegends.com. And finally, if this episode has been of value to you, would you please share it with 3 of your friends? Teacher learns the most. So when you share it with 3 friends and then talk about it, deconstruct it, have conversations about the lessons you've learned in this episode, you will not only deepen your learning and elevate your performance and integrate the lessons I've shared, you're going to lift your friends up as well. And that would be an amazing thing to do. So I really want to thank you for being with me, and I'll see you in the next episode. Hi, this is Robin Sharma. I hope you received great value from this mastery session. If you'd like to receive potent training videos, blog posts, learning tools, and information on my 2 live events, Personal Mastery Academy and my flagship 4-day experience, the Titan Summit, go ahead and visit robinsharma.com.